Curiosity is a strange thing that drives us to make all sorts of nonsensical decisions. 4 years ago, we bought a sailboat, but we didn't have a clue how to sail it. So we hired a captain to come aboard and show us the ropes, which we quickly learned aren't ropes. When they're on a boat, it's called lines because, well, sailors are funny like that. They have their own language, and they don't take kindly to those who don't speak it.
You bloody bastard!
Take your main sheet off your winch, and then you can put your main halyard on your winch.
Yeah.
And that was it. We set off around the world, and now we're living the dream.
Yeah. Yay, boats!
Go fishing.
We just gotta put the new one in.
How to use these?
It has to be pretty even. I hope I never have to do this again.
Ha! Yeah, it wasn't that simple. Not at all.
Nope. But I mean, look, we didn't grow up with any sort of sailing background. I mean, we didn't grow up near water. I didn't even know anybody with a pool.
Jeez, but we knew we had a lot to learn, and before we even stepped foot on our very first catamaran, before we really started the buying process, we stopped at this little park and recorded this video about our thoughts, expectations, and uncertainties of what boat life was gonna be like.
Exactly. And it's funny to go back and watch that now because we got some of it right or close.
We think our whole life is gonna be all anchoring out in these absolutely beautiful locations, living completely off the grid with all of our solar, all that stuff we already have. And I guess that's the most exciting part.
Yes, but it's also one of the scary things. And there's a lot of crap we just didn't even think about.
But what else do you expect? I mean, we didn't know anything.
No, but that's what we wanted to talk about today. If we could go back in time and give ourselves some advice, you know, what is the stuff that we wish we would have known?
There you go.
Learning how to sail is easy. The act of sailing, getting a boat to move, is not hard. It's really simple.
How's the sail look? Yeah, good? Look, Mom, no hands. But trimming sails perfectly, sailing like a pro, sailing safely, that's a different story.
Right.
4 years ago, me was thinking, we can figure that out. We've read enough books. We've read enough blogs. We can figure out how to sail. We don't need to take a class.
Well, or like we'll learn as we go kind of thing. We'll figure it out. And the only reason we ended up taking a course, not the only reason, but it prompted us to, is because once we found out that insurance was going to require us to have a captain sign off on us saying that, well, we could actually sail the boat, then we were like, okay, well,
maybe we should take that class. Yeah. And that was the best 5 days that we spent. Like, we learned so much. And the sailing language, the sailing lingo, it's like a block is a pulley and a line is a rope. And what the heck is a jibe or a jib? It's like...
Yeah. So there's all these things that you have to learn, and things are called different names, and school helps out loads with that. So a lot to take in, and it fast-tracked us big time versus if we would have tried to do it without the class, because there's so many rules, regulations, you know, how to read a chart, finding anchorages. So much of that is learned in class.
Yeah. Prepare to head up to a close-hauled sail. If I could have looked at the thing the whole time, it would have been easy. I was trying to, you know.
Why do you think she put a cheat sheet there?
Well, I was trying not to cheat.
So we took the ASA courses, which is the American Sailing Association, but pretty much every country has their own version of that. It's a good place to start, and we bought the boat and then signed up for class. But in hindsight, I would have told us to take the class first and then go boat shopping, because the knowledge we learned in class would have helped us out. And
not tremendously, but it would have helped us.
It would have helped.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we would have looked at it a little bit differently. I'm still very happy with our boat choice. It's just, it would have been nice to know.
To know what things were that we're looking at.
It would have been nice to be able to actually sail our own vessel. We couldn't even do that on our own. We had to wait until after we got done with school before we were ever even allowed to take it anywhere. So, I mean, look, we did things a little bit backwards, as my grandma would say.
Boat life is a full-time job. Just kind of let that marinate for a second. It's a full-time job.
Everything on a boat takes twice as long. It just does.
Here we go again. This will be the second time I've installed this stainless steel holding tank.
Jason has been working on that toilet or head for umpteen hours now, and he's not happy about it. But he has done it. Searching for the boat took twice as long as we thought it would have. And
getting service done, getting it outfitted to sail around the world took
twice
or
as
3 or 4 times longer.
Yeah. Even just once you're on the boat, then you've got route planning. We use iNavix and Garmin, so that way we have 2 different charts to double check everything.
Active captain. And even though we're several days away from leaving, we're just kind of generally doing our route planning on PredictWind just to kind of have an idea of where are the winds coming from, how long will it take us to get there. Other things we have to think about, CDC, website.
Health website.
CATs.
Yep, looking at the pet health information and what's required for entering the country. Customs for us, what's required from us, and check-in procedures.
Yeah. Checking out here, we have to check out here a certain way. So anyway, it's just so different than our old life in the RV. We used to just bring up the jacks, bring in the slides, and just point the RV and go, like without a care.
Planning a simple A to B destination is never a simple A to B destination with sailing, but it's because the act of getting there, the sail itself, all that time in between is a huge part of the journey. That is an adventure in itself.
Then you got to check in, you got to go through customs and visas and all the bureaucracy that goes along with that, and that all takes time. And then the simplicity of
everyday living. So going to the grocery store. That is a trunk full of vegetables right there and fruit. Getting fuel, running basic errands, laundry, like for whatever reason, not for whatever reason. I mean, you've got all the time to take the dinghy from the boat to land, go and get your groceries, and then bring them back to the dinghy and then back to the boat and so on and so forth. So it's like just everything compiles and it all just takes longer.
So be prepared for that. Yeah. Old me or young me, however I'm supposed to talk to you. It's gonna take you longer, way longer than you ever imagined. And then, because boat life is a full-time job, if you're thinking like we were, that you can balance a normal job, a digital nomad job where you work from the sea, that complicates it even more.
Yeah, because now you have 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah. All right, back inside.
So it's just, you need to plan for a lot more time. And we certainly didn't. So I would say, double the time you think it's going to take you to do everything.
Yeah.
Maybe even triple, just to give yourself a little leeway. Because I will say that there have been times where our visa was expiring when we needed to get out of Ecuador, so we had to set sail.
We're prepping for the biggest adventure of our lives. We're sailing from Salinas, Ecuador to the Marquesas Islands in French Polynesia. It's a 3,500 nautical mile journey that will take anywhere from 20 to 30 days.
We leave in exactly 8 days because that's when our Ecuador visas expire. And this is our prime weather window. Ocean passages are dictated by seasons. If we wait too long, the cyclone season will be upon us and we'll have to wait another year before making the passage. Which means we have a lot to accomplish over the next 8 days. What are you angry about?
I'm not angry. What are you pissed off? Stupid alternator.
You don't want to do that to yourself if you don't have to, because we didn't think it was going to take us as long to get prepared to leave. And so more time.
More time.
Which brings us right to the next one. Time is money, and money is a resource. And if you don't have enough of that resource, then you gotta get it from somewhere. And that's most likely gonna come in the form of you.
Yeah, sweat equity. How much blood, sweat, and tears do you want to put into your vessel, into your home? And I would say that no matter what, you're going to put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it because you probably won't have a choice.
Part of the lifestyle.
Yeah.
But certainly, the less money you have, the more time you're going to have to invest. Or if you don't have a lot of time, then you better have some money because you're going to need to pay somebody else to do all of that maintenance and upgrades and everything else that goes on.
Yeah, and there's kind of a general rule that we've been told that most people read about. The yearly cost of maintenance for your boat, you should plan on 10 to 30%
of the value of your boat.
And that's like, you're like, what? That's not even...
Yeah, so if you have a $100,000 boat...
10% would be $10,000. And 30% would obviously be $30,000. That's a huge variance.
The less work you do yourself and the more you pay somebody else, you get closer to the 30%. And the more you're willing to do yourself, you get closer to the 10. And that seems to kind of work with all aspects of boat life. I feel like that's the thing. The more work you do yourself,
the cheaper it will be.
Yeah. So keep that in mind when planning your budget. And we certainly didn't allot for enough time or enough money.
And a general rule of thumb, for money, just take whatever budget you have and double it.
Yep.
take whatever time it's gonna take and double it. Is
Yeah.
there a theme to this video somewhere?
Yeah, you're gonna need more time and money, pretty much.
Or more time and more time.
Or more money and more money. The sunset is getting
Oh my gosh.
really good. We might have to take a mini break. I don't know, because I'm like, then it's gonna be dark when we come back.
You will become handy. And Jason, I'm talking to you. Remember that time you were on the side of the road and you couldn't figure out how to run your electric tire pump in Alaska?
If you've seen our How Not To videos, then you kind of know why I'm nervous.
I gotta turn it on.
Point made.
Yeah. You'll be changing engines out in no time.
Changing engines
Yeah,
out.
engine parts, working on the oily stuff, the greasy, getting down in there. You're gonna be the man. What?
No. We do all right. We'll figure it out. I would not be calling us rock stars on maintenance or fixing crap.
Let me have my light, honey. Come on.
Yeah, you do a very good job. Very good job. You learn as you go, and it's a little bit frustrating and trying, but you will learn. And the best part is you don't have to learn all by yourself, because the cruising community is really awesome, whether it's like forums or YouTube videos of somebody showing you how to do something.
Local nets that come across the radio, like people trading parts and helping each other out. It is amazing. You don't have to know everything.
No, and if you stocked up on every single spare except for that one thing that inevitably broke, go ask your neighbor. They might have it. Maybe they know how to fix it if you don't know how to fix it. Like, they really are so incredibly helpful, and everybody's out there doing the same thing. So we're all pretty understanding. So I would say that we've probably been helped more than we've been helpful, but maybe our turn is coming.
When this Traveler broke, it kind of squeezed these two pieces together, so now we have to open them back up a little bit because we actually have the pin that can go in.
Why do we have the pen that can go in?
Because of our friends on holiday.
Oh, makes sense for holiday.
They're supposed to be on holiday, and he's over here working. Okay, so let's
This is our
see.
friend CJ.
Hello. And even simple things that you take for granted on land is having someone change your oil and stuff like that. Like, it doesn't really exist when you're out in the middle of the islands with no real services. So you are sort of forced to do it, but it is easy and you can totally do it. Oh, but the one information I will give you is if you can stock up on as many stainless steel nuts, screws, bolts.
The quality stuff. Do not
yes.
buy the cheap stuff, because
Yes.
it will just rust and it won't last anyway.
Good wrenches, good drills, all of that.
You'll need
Spanning
tools.
spinners, spinning spanners, whatever those things are called. Crescent wrenches of all sorts. You just have a good plethora of miscellaneous tools that you can use that are high quality. Let me just tell you, these things, extender thingies, come in amazing handy when working in these tight spaces in here.
So I feel like that covers some. I mean, we would be here all night long, but that covers some of the things that I wish we would have known. And there are a few more, and we're gonna kind of like blast through.
Yeah.
I feel like there should be like a blaster scene coming, but that's probably not gonna happen. First one is sleeping isn't impossible. We really didn't think that sleeping was gonna be so easy. We thought we were gonna just be super sleep deprived. We had no idea how on earth we were gonna handle passages and sleeping in 3-hour shifts. And
Exactly. Yeah, you read it, and as somebody who lives on land and sleeps 7 to 8 hours a night, you think, there's no way I can function. But you can function. You will sleep. You'll get used to the noises and the rocking. You will be fine.
your body certainly adjusts, and you get in tune with the boat, and it does work out. So don't worry about that. But I will say, ground tackle is extremely important. We held off on upgrading the anchor and the chain, not for too long, because we learned our lesson very quickly. A good anchor is like worth its weight in gold, because otherwise you really won't sleep, because you're going to be too concerned about dragging, or you will be dragging and you're trying to fix that problem. So good ground tackle, anchor and chain.
Super important.
Yeah, super important.
Seasickness. you will get seasick. And even though Nikki doesn't get seasick, it doesn't make her a better person than you. You're just as good as her.
I have a better inner ear. That's all. No.
No, it happens to many sailors. We hear it over and over. People just get hit hard with seasickness, but then you get over it. It's been the craziest 12 hours for me. Ugh.
But we're here now.
We're here now.
You can rest.
Yes.
Shower.
Shower and sleep.
Yeah. Eat some food.
Some food maybe if I can keep it down.
Yeah. Cool. It's not a good night for Jason.
I wish I could tell you to take ginger or drink Angostura bitters or tell you some sort of magical solution, but I think it just is what it is. You're gonna get seasick.
Yeah.
You're gonna get over it. Your life will be fine. Don't worry about it.
Sturgeon is awesome.
Yeah.
Driving the boat, I really thought that Jason was just gonna end up being better at most everything than me because he's a better driver in the car, so I kind of just assumed he'd be better at driving the boat. We're practicing our docking skills.
Don't have to get pricked.
And there's no bumpers around here, so I'm really hoping we do this right. Otherwise, our boat will suffer. But turns out, it's us. You and old me and current me. It's us. We actually are kind of a boss at the helm.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, let's not overdo it because,
It's still
I've
nerve-wracking.
made mistakes and I've done a lot, but we did learn it and we are pretty good at the helm. And so, yeah, don't be afraid to get in there, girl. AC.
AC, wow. When your air conditioning breaks in the middle of the tropics and it cost 20 grand to get a couple new ones installed.
You'll learn very quickly. It's not that important.
No, you'll be fine. You don't need AC. Yeah, sure, it's a luxury and sure it helps like reduce some of the humidity in the boat, but you don't need it.
Yeah, and whenever your hot water probe stops working and you no longer have hot water, you'll also learn that cold showers really aren't that bad.
Especially during the middle of the day. I mean, you're gonna get out of the shower and you're gonna sweat anyway.
Yeah, you'll learn that all sorts of things that you thought you couldn't live without, you do just fine without them.
Especially when it costs so much to repair them or replace them.
Yeah.
Like the refrigerator.
Yeah, you'll learn that like, look, an electric cooler works great.
Just fine, yeah.
We could go on and on, but that's kind of the gist of it. Really, in general, it's an alternative lifestyle. Doesn't mean it's easier, doesn't mean it's better, it's just an alternative. And it's up to you to decide whether it's a better alternative for you.
Oh, and it's one that we've been away from for a while, and I can't tell you how gut-wrenching it is knowing we're so close to our home.
And so far away.
So far away,
'Cause
like living off the grid, living at sea, living on anchor. It is the most amazing thing, and I complain sometimes while we're underway, but I freaking love it.
And being away definitely has made us realize
How
how much we miss it when we don't have it, when we're not there. So we are homesick real bad
real homesick.
right about now. So it will be a lovely reunion whenever it finally happens.
Yeah, so if you're thinking about hitting the sailboat world, you know, setting sail, living off the grid and hitting these anchorages, and I hope this video can spark a little bit of excitement, help you out a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully.
Push that rock over the hill.
Yeah, or we've just completely scared you away from it, one of the two, I don't know. But look, we wouldn't do it if we didn't think it was worth it.
But I'm gonna circle it back around to you. Did we miss anything? Was there some sort of question you have that's like burning a hole in your mind? Please share in the comments below.
Yeah, or if you're a salty sailor and you've actually made it all the way through this and you've got some tips of your own to share, definitely leave them down in the comment box below.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you for watching, and we will
See you when we
next
see
time.
you. The sunset.
We can get the last of it.
Okay.